you guys? Welcome back to the series. So today we're gonna talk about a trick that just adds a lot of flash to freestyles. I mean, this is a trick that I've used for many years now. I even ended one of my all-time favorite freestyles I've ever done with this particular trick. And really, it's a trick that just kind of is unexpected. You don't see it coming and it just happens so quick that it kind of makes people do a double take. They're not really expecting the result of this trick and it just happens so quickly. It's like a magic trick almost. If you're gonna be freestyling, especially if you have a good, really fast music cue and you want a banger to throw in right when that hit happens, this is an awesome trick to learn. This trick is called the instant green triangle, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so simple enough, right? It's basically just a trapeze where you're throwing the counterweight through the trapeze loop to end up in a green triangle. Really, that's the gist of it. It's pretty simple, right? Well, it's simple, but it's also really easy to make this trick look kind of weird. So this trick actually can be broken down into 3 steps. You have your trapeze, you have your free hand opening the trapeze, and you have your throw hand forcing the dice and kind of throwing it straight across through the loop and into the open hand of your free hand. However, as you're doing these steps, a really important thing that not a lot of people notice you have to do is you have to kind of float the entire setup. And what I mean by that is essentially you're going to ever so slightly be lifting your hands up so that the yo-yo, the counterweight, and the strings kind of let themselves toss up into the air just very briefly. And what that's going to allow is going to allow the loop to stay open. It's going to allow there to be not a lot of tension or pull on the counterweight, so you can throw it through that loop really cleanly. And it's going to allow the settling point as everything kind of comes back down to reveal the triangle. To throw the counterweight through the loop, you want to make sure that you are first holding the counterweight with your hand kind of upward. And you're going to be pinching the counterweight with your thumb, middle, and pointer fingers. You're kind of just pinching it between those 3. This allows you to kind of just give a little wrist flick so you can sort of throw the counterweight almost like throwing a dart towards the target, which will be through the open loop. You're going to turn the trapeze loop and open it with your free hand and kind of turn it at a slight angle so that the loop, instead of facing away from you, is actually facing kind of towards the direction of the counterweight. Now, to make this trick look really good, some things to focus on are making sure that your hands stay a decent length apart. If your hands are too close together when you try to do the toss, it's really just going to make it look like you're passing the counterweight through the loop, and it's not going to be as impressive. Now, a lot of players, when they're learning this trick, will have a tendency to just pass the counterweight through in hopes that they'll get a little bit smoother at that transition. But I find this actually ends up being a little bit detrimental to the learning process, because you're going to get so used to just doing this kind of pass back and forth thing that really you're just going to kind of get stuck on that. What I would instead recommend is actually focusing on being able to throw the counterweight through the loop, and don't even worry about catching the counterweight on the other hand. Really just being able to throw it through the loop, and of course the counterweight's just kind of gonna dangle down and wrap around the yo-yo, might get a little messed up, but that's okay. You're just really focusing on getting used to being able to throw it through that loop over and over and over again. Once you get the hang of that, then you can start focusing on using your free hand to grab that counterweight as soon as it goes through the loop. And of course, you know you've totally mastered this trick when you can find that you can do it without even looking at the yo-yo or the counterweight. This trick can be really tricky to learn at first, but with a lot of practice you'll be able to get it really smooth, so it'll start looking like a magic trick. This is definitely a trick I highly recommend learning, and especially one that is great to add to any sort of performance or freestyle you may find yourself doing in the 5A style. Once again, I am Josh Yee, and thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all the other tutorials I'm going to be putting out, as well as taking a look back at some of the other tutorials I've made from the past. Keep on throwing 5A, and I'll catch you guys next time.